Imagine standing at the edge of a desert thousands of years ago. In the distance, giant stone pyramids rise from the sand, reaching toward the sky. Workers in linen clothes carry heavy stones, building a structure so large it can be seen for miles. The sun is hot, and the Nile River glows in the distance. This is ancient Egypt during the time of the Old Kingdom, a time of great kings, powerful pyramids, and the beginning of one of the most amazing civilizations in history. The Old Kingdom lasted from around 2700 to 2200 BCE. It was the first great period of ancient Egypt. During this time, the Egyptians built their first large cities, developed a strong government, and created the famous pyramids. It was also when Egypt began to be ruled by pharaohs, powerful kings who were seen as more than just leaders. People believed the pharaohs were chosen by the gods and even thought of them as gods themselves. One of the most important parts of life in the Old Kingdom was the Nile River. The river gave the Egyptians water, food, and transportation. Each year, it flooded and left behind rich soil that helped crops grow. Farmers grew wheat, barley, and vegetables along the banks. They used simple tools and worked together in large groups to care for the land. Surplus food helped the population grow and allowed some people to become builders, artists, priests, and scribes. The Old Kingdom is most famous for its pyramids. These giant stone buildings were tombs for the pharaohs. The most well-known are at a place called Giza near the modern city of Cairo. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built for Pharaoh Khufu. It is made from over 2 million stone blocks and stood as the tallest man-made structure in the world for thousands of years. Nobody knows exactly how the pyramids were built, but it took thousands of workers, many years, and incredible planning. The workers who built the pyramids were not slaves, as some people once believed. Most were skilled laborers who worked in teams. They lived in nearby villages and were paid with food, shelter, and clothing. They carved stone with copper tools, moved blocks using sleds and ramps, and worked together under the direction of architects and engineers. Building the pyramids was a national project, something everyone in the kingdom was part of in some way. Pharaohs during the Old Kingdom built more than just pyramids. They built temples, palaces, and statues. They also kept records of taxes, harvests, and laws, using a writing system called hieroglyphs. This system used small pictures to stand for words and sounds. Only trained scribes could read and write. These scribes were very important, and they helped keep the government organized. Religion was a big part of life in the Old Kingdom. Egyptians believed in many gods and goddesses who controlled the natural world, like the sun, the river, and the sky. They believed that after death, a person's soul would travel to another world. This is why pharaohs were buried with food, treasures, and everything they might need in the afterlife. Tombs were often decorated with paintings and carvings that showed scenes from everyday life, along with prayers and spells to protect the soul. Some of the most important pharaohs of the Old Kingdom include Djoser, who built the first step pyramid at Saqqara, and Sneferu, who experimented with pyramid designs and built several before the perfect shape was created at Giza. Khufu, who built the Great Pyramid, is still remembered today because of the enormous size of his tomb. His son and grandson, Khafra and Menkaure, also built pyramids nearby. The Old Kingdom was a time of great success, but it did not last forever. Over time, the pharaohs grew weaker, and local governors gained more power. There were also problems with drought and poor harvests, which led to food shortages. People began to lose faith in the government. By around 2200 BCE, the central government collapsed, and Egypt entered a time of trouble known as the First Intermediate Period. Even though the Old Kingdom ended, its impact lasted for thousands of years. Later pharaohs continued to build pyramids and honor the gods in temples. The idea of divine kingship and the belief in an afterlife remained central to Egyptian life. The pyramids themselves stood as symbols of strength, skill, and belief. reminders of what people could achieve when they worked together with a powerful vision. Today, the pyramids of the Old Kingdom are visited by people from all over the world. They remind us of a time when Egypt was just beginning to rise, when its people were building something greater than themselves. They remind us that even in ancient times, humans had big dreams and the courage to make them real. The Old Kingdom teaches us about leadership, teamwork, and belief. It shows us what people can do when they use their minds, their hands, and their hearts. The stones they stacked so carefully long ago still stand, whispering stories from a time when kings ruled, the Nile flowed strong, and the first golden age of Egypt had begun.